Hey everybody, good evening. On a rainy night here in upstate New York, Prepper Nurse One here. I'm glad to see everybody in the chat already. Got quite a few people already. So we'll just give this storm might move up to New. It's already here. Yeah, we're already getting the rain already. So fun times. It's part of the joys of living in New York. Uh, so anyway, before we get started here, I'd like to go over a couple things. Obviously, in the beginning of my chats, we just actually I just ended up blocking somebody before I even went live because they were being a jerk already. My thing is, guy, this is I just it blows my mind. Okay, absolutely blows my mind. If you don't like somebody, why would you be on their channel? Why would you be in their live stream and chatting on their live stream and trying to be a jerk? It just doesn't makes no sense to me whatsoever. So anyway, anybody that's going to act like a jerk, just putting it out here. I have my moderators, and they will block you. You will be gone. So why even bother? Okay, I don't even know why people do it, but I guess they still think that they are going to give it a shot. But anyway, so I just want to put that out there. Family friendly channel. Keep it clean. Don't act like a jerk, and everything will be fine. If you do, you will be booted. No racism, anything like that. I'm not going to tolerate anything like that. Okay. So, anyway, on top of that, if you have any kind of questions after I talk here a little bit, then please all cap locks. Okay. So anyway, right, exactly. Yeah, if they think that they can do better, they should do their own channel. I like when people say, constructive criticism is okay, and I don't mind constructive criticism. But when people say, "Oh, well, you didn't do this right. You should have done this, this, and this, and this, and this," my reply generally to somebody like that is, "Well, please do a video and show me how to do it the right way." So usually the people that are the most critical have no content whatsoever. So I always find that interesting. Anyway, a couple things I wanted to say. Oops, wait a minute. Sorry, I hit something there. Okay, a couple things I wanted to say before we get into the chat. I wanted to say, first of all, I wanted to say hi to Amanda, a friend of mine who lives up in Canada. She's watching tonight. She doesn't always get to watch the live chats, so I wanted to give a quick hello to her and say hi. She's also off grid, and she's up in Ontario, up in that area of Canada. So hang in there, girl. You'll be fine. Everything's going to go good. Second thing I want to say, I want to do a quick shout out to Lee. I'm not sure if he's watching tonight or not. He said he was going to be. Him and I spoke earlier today, and he made a donation to the channel today, and he wanted to know how to do a donation. He didn't want to do it in the live chat. He wanted to do it, privately. So I told him I have a donate button on the front of my channel on YouTube, obviously. So he made a donation today, and I just wanted to tell him thank you, and I appreciate that. That was very kind of him. So I like to acknowledge you guys because I have never once, ever once asked for a freaking dime. Never have. If you guys want to do something to help out the channel, it is always appreciated. So I just, anybody that's ever donated, and there's a lot of you that have, I do appreciate everything. And like I said, it's not like I'm rolling around with a Rolls Royce out here. I have a 2006 Santa Fe. So, and I'm going to run it until it don't work no more. But the money goes back into the channel. So I just wanted to say that. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Okay, Mike. It's actually on my website as well now. Mike just said. So thank you for that. I appreciate that too. So anyway, guys. So let's get into the topic of today. We're talking about how bad things are going to truly be when S.H.T.F happens. Now we're going to go with like a worst case scenario. So there's a lot of different things that we could go into. It could be any myriad of things, but I usually like to go with a lights out scenario because that's the most probable way that an S.H.T.F event could happen. Either be it a flip of a switch and the lights go out, it could be an EMP, or it could be a solar flare, coronal mass ejection from the sun. So, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities that could cause the grid to go down. So how truly bad would it be? So I think I'm basically going to give you my opinion of how I think it would be. In the beginning, the first couple days, okay, so before I jump into that part, I want to mention something. I have had people tell me, well, I don't think S.H.T.F would be that bad. When there's a disaster, we all work together and we overcome it and stuff like that, which is absolutely true. I mean, the people in the United States are awesome. We work hard and we will pull together and we'll do things together. But that's when we know that any kind of a situation is going to end. Okay, very, very simple then, because you know that the lights are going to come back on, things are going to be restored, order is going to be restored. So that's really an easy way. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people will pull in and help and stuff like that. And I think in S.H.T.F, that will happen as well to a point. But I think what you're going to see when S.H.T.F happens, that first couple days, people are truly going to try to work together. And after that first couple days, when people really begin to realize the depth of what is going on, especially in a grid down situation, I mean, maybe communication is still working, as far as phones or something like that. You don't know. Maybe, but if it's an EMP or a coronal mass ejection, then none of that's going to be working anymore. So there's going to be no way of communicating. So people are not going to have any information coming in to let them know what's going on, unless, of course, they have a Faraday cage and have communications put away in that Faraday cage. So then you're going to see panic happen, because once people realize the true significance of what is going on, you're going to talk about panic. Now, will looting happen pretty quickly after a grid down situation? Absolutely. Because once there's no power, the thieves out there are going to realize, oh my God, there's no power. Let's go get our goodies. So they're going to go and they're going to break into electronics places and steal TVs. I mean, you guys have seen all the videos when there's a disaster, how people do it here in the United States, unfortunately, okay? But what'll happen is, they may do that initial looting. And the last place you're going to want to be is in any kind of a situation where there's a possibility of conflict, because you need to survive that initial period. You need to survive the period after that. So my best advice to anybody is, be as prepared as you possibly can be. And when that situation happens, keep your head down, lay low, try to ride it out. Or if you have a bug out location, get to that location. Because even in the early stages, nothing is more dangerous than somebody who is scared and panicked. Okay, there's nothing more dangerous for that. Desperate people will do desperate things. So that's something I want you guys to really sit down and think about. What desperation would people be in, and what would they be willing to do? And if your kids are starving and they're hungry, most people are willing to do anything that they have to do. Even yourself, if you're starving and you're hungry. So basically, I always try to tell people, you hopefully have a 72-hour window to get to be where you want to be, or button up where you are. After that, really the chance of getting to where you want to be is not going to be good at all. It's not going to be good at all. So hopefully, you can get to where you want to be. If you're planning on bugging in or bugging out, whatever it's going to be, at that first sign of trouble, get moving, make those plans, get going where you want to go. I think that's really, really important. So have been prepping for a while, guns, ammo, canned goods, water, MREs. Green Bay Packers just said that. It's very good. Continue to do that. Spices, all those type of things as well. Honey, having those different types of things, very, very good to have. So anyway, so what happens after that? After that first initial 3 days, when people realize, holy crap, things are not going to go back to normal. I can't have communications. I don't know what's going on. You're going to have a lot of panic, and a lot of, like I said, desperate people. Now, people that know you prep are going to come to you and they're going to ask for help. That's going to be a very, very difficult situation, because depending on salt, somebody just said salt. Having salt is very good as well. Also, some people are saying they're having buffering problems. I'm sorry you guys are having problems. I don't know. YouTube screws with everything, guys. I'll tell you what, it's been interesting what they do. But so anyway, people are going to come with their hat in their hand looking for help. Now, depending on how you've prepped and how much you've prepped, I mean, if you can help some people out, again, it's an individual choice. You have the right to say no. I mean, you absolutely do, especially if it's people that you've talked to, told them to prep, and they laughed at you and thought it was funny, and no, I'm not going to do that. Nothing's ever going to happen. I love it when I get those. Nothing's ever going to happen. Or they'll say to me, oh, don't worry, Yellowstone's not going to blow up for the next 100 years. Well, how do they know? You know what I mean? We never know. So it's so okay. So yeah, anybody that's having buffering problems, just log out and log back in and see if that helps for you guys. Because a lot of people are saying they're not having any issues at all. Okay, so But anyway, you know, the panic of people is going to be a really, really scary thing. And so, I don't know what the. Oh, very funny. All right, whoever that person is, would you take care of them, Mike? Thank you. Unbelievable. People are, see what I mean? It's like they're like 5-year-old children. Some of these people are. It's just very interesting. Anyway, well, children are going to be children, and they just need to be blocked. So that's what we do. So anyhow, what's going to happen is after that, when people get desperate, they're going to do anything that they have to do to get whatever they want. The initial period of time that's really, really the most important is that first 6 to 8 weeks. If you can survive that first 6 to 8 weeks, hey, Greg, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. My first donation for you, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Fly, Eagles, fly. All right. Well, thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. And thank you for donating to the channel. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Those people that are desperate are going to do whatever they have to do to get what they want. So you really do need to be able to have protection to defend what you have so that you don't have to deal with that type of a situation. Okay. So that is really, really important to think about. Be prepared all the way around. Prepping is about being well-rounded in your preparedness. If you can help people and if you want to help people, great. But don't take food out of your group's mouth or your family's mouth to help somebody that would not even help themselves. That's important to know. Now, I do plan on, like myself, and I've talked to some people about this. I think that there's going to be a lot of kids out there. Parents are going to die. Mass suicide is going to happen. Because once people realize how truly desperate their situation is, I think a lot of people will choose suicide over trying to live in a world that's not like it's always been. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of things going on, a lot of craziness going on. So there's going to be a lot of children out there with no guidance, no help, and stuff like that. If you are able to and bring those kids into your fold and try to help children out, I think that that's the best thing that you could possibly do, because honestly, guys, children are the future. They're going to be the ones that are going to carry on once we're gone. A lot of us preppers are older preppers. So do you think an S.H.T.F situation will happen in America soon with the way things are going? Primeval just asked that. I do. I honestly do. And I can't say, okay, it's going to be this or it's going to be that. It could be any number of things, guys, that could trigger it off. There's so much chaos in strife going on. I mean, you have the left and the right, ready to go to war with each other, which is exactly what the government wants, because as soon as something like that would happen, or if we had like a race war type of situation, as soon as something like that would happen, they would lock this country down in martial law, and then it's total control. So you would be giving them exactly what they want, okay? But again, it's like getting back to talking about, like with the kids, being able to help kids out, because like I said, they are going to be the future. A lot of us preppers are older. We are not going to live forever, and we need to pass what knowledge we have down to that next generation. And believe me, if you got, a bunch of kids, 5 to 8-year-olds, I'll give that as an example. Hey, Rebecca Williams, thank you. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. When you have that, and somebody just made a comment, I'm going to get to that in a second. If we can help them out, they're going to be, first of all, they're going to be grateful that somebody cares about them that's not going to hurt them. Because there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to hurt people. If you can take them in and help them, they're going to be loyal. They're going to be, they're going to grow up and they're going to help keep you safe as you get older. So somebody just said radical Islam will be the problem. It's not just radical Islam, guys. It's radical Islam. It is your white supremacist. It is your black hate groups. It is your Hispanic hate groups. It is those type of people that hate somebody else for a different color that are basically going to go out and they're going to try to slaughter those type of people that don't look exactly like they look or that are different. So, nobody is safe. Nobody is like, I'm untouchable because I'm white. That's not even close to being smart thinking. There's going to be a lot of really crazy people out there. Hey, Aaron, I have a bug out bag in my car just in case. I've been doing this since we've been having issues with Korea. Scary. Oh, yeah. You know what? I completely understand. Thank you for the donation, too, by the way. It is scary. I mean, I think everybody that's watching all you guys should definitely have a bug out bag in your car with preparedness items at all times, and keep that pack light. I was actually just talking to somebody on the phone. I think I was actually talking to Mike about this, and I had a get together early on when my channel started, and I said we're going to do a prepper get together. And when I was living up in Greece, New York, and so I had a bunch of people had said yes, I want to come to the prepper get together. So they all came. I said I want everybody to bring their bug out bag, so we can kind of compare notes and see who's got what and who doesn't have this and that, and we can kind of, learn from each other and say, hey, that's a great idea. Like one of the things that I picked up from that, somebody had rat traps, and they had them for for catching squirrels and stuff like that. And I just thought that was a freaking brilliant idea, and so I added that to my bug out bag. But so there was these two ladies that had come, and they come struggling in the house with these 70-pound. Hey, Bob, Tom, the invasion is bringing in disease. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And thank you for the donation. A lot of diseases coming up from South America. People that are not vaccinated, that didn't have, anything, and they're bringing all kinds of stuff with them. So there's definitely issues with that as well. A ton of issues with that. But so these ladies brought in these two packs that were like 70 pounds. 70 pounds each. And I mean, literally, they were maybe 130, 120-pound ladies. And I said to them, I said, how long do you think that you could carry that pack for? And they were like, I didn't think about that. I said, you would not be a mile down the road that you'd be starting to take stuff out of there. If you can condense your packs down, keep the weight down, and because you got to figure, guys, okay, let's say you're bugging out, all right? So, hello, Soxy. Here, I got to show you. Miss Sox. There she is. So the you got your bug out bag, and let's say your bug out bag is 50 pounds. Okay, so you got that strapped on your back. Now, are you used to walking with that? Have you been practicing? Have you been out there, hiking a mile, 2 miles, every day or every other day with that pack on your back? Most of us are not. Okay, then you're going to have your weapon. All right, and then you're probably going to have 200 to 300 rounds of ammunition on top of that. So now your weight situation is really getting up there. Yes, absolutely. Catherine just says, don't forget medical supplies. An infection could be catastrophic in S.H.T.F. Absolutely. They're going to have the amount of people that are going to lose their life from simple things, guys, is going to be huge. Infections, dysentery, you're going to have people clustered together. You're going to have more chance for flu. So you're going to have, a lot more people getting sick with that for that same type of reason. And come on, Sax, go lay down, sweetie. Go on, go lay down. She's right like on top of the microphone, so I don't want her to do. If you guys would hit that like button for me, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you would, that would be great. We need to pass term limits for Congress, 4 years, or even 8, guys. I think 8 would be more realistic number. And 7 miles every day. Health is your most important. I jog, yeah. Now, Bizza Jizzariza, friend of mine from Rochester. He was quite heavy, guys. What were you, like 230, I think, at one point? Shorter guy. He has taken off all that weight. Looks fantastic. So he really took care of his health. So I want to tip my hat to you, man, because you really have taken care of yourself. But, having the right medical supplies as well is going to be really, really important. You're going to need to have your anti-diarrheals. You're going to have stuff for an upset stomach. Foot care, 288 down to 185. Wow, I didn't realize it was that big. Yeah, that's a huge, huge loss of weight. And I'll tell you what, I'll bet you feel better anyway. I have 75 pack for climbing mountains, but would never use that for a long distance hike. Yeah, I don't blame you, Prepared Grunt. I mean, we did a road march when I was in the service, and what I heard now, they don't even do a road march anymore, which drives me kind of crazy. But we had to do a 15-mile road march. And you had your ruck on, you had your M16, and lucky me, at the time, 142-pound me, I was the medical guy. Even then, they made me the first, so I had to carry the medical box as well. But I was able to pass that back off. So I carried it for like the first mile, and then I passed it back. And whoever was behind you had to take it. So that was a good thing. Yeah, you need to be physically ready too. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I need to lose weight myself. With being more active here in the spring, it's definitely making me feel better. But yeah, being active, getting out hiking, doing those type of things, that is awesome. That is awesome. Only costs you your gallbladder. Well, hey, that's all right, but you got that weight off, which is important. How do you know how long iodine pills for radiation? Oh, do you know how long iodine pills for radiation nuclear fallout pills last? I actually don't. I don't have any iodine pills myself. Um, they probably have a best by date. They're probably going to be good for well beyond that best by date. If if a lot of that type of stuff, guys, if you can vacuum seal it and then store it in a freezer, it's going to really truly extend the shelf life of a lot of that stuff. So a lot of those medications are going to last a lot longer. I actually did a video about medications, and a lot of the medications will last a long time past the expiration date and best by dates. So, okay, so Terrence is asking about why would the government want to do that? Uh, when you have, I think it's 46 or 47% of the people in this country on some form of assistance, and you have your baby boomers. We're adding 10,000 people every day from the baby boomer generation, guys, okay, are now elderly. They're all retiring, all right? If they can come up with something that eliminates those people because they are no longer, as far as, like, let's say the government is concerned, they're no longer useful. They're now a burden, if you will, to society, according to the government's eyes. There's a lot of people there's a lot of dead weight, a lot of drug addicts, a lot of alcoholics. You have a lot of people are on the system. You have some people that are just straight up lazy, that are playing the system, pretending to be hurt, and they're not hurt and they're capable of working. So you have those type of situations as well. So you got a lot of people getting some form of assistance from the government, and the government is tired of that, to be honest with you. And if you can have some kind of an event happen that gets rid of a lot of what they consider useless people, think about this, guys. In any state, like, and I'm going to go with New York State here, we have a ton of group homes all over because they had the facilities where they had all the mentally retarded people. Okay, well, what they've done now is put them all out into the community in group homes. So they have these group homes all over the place, and that's costing the state a freaking ton of money. Staffing, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of paperwork involved. I mean, I worked for the state for a couple different times, and it's a nightmare. And working for the state in nursing is just, it's insane. It's worse than anything else, I'll be honest with you. And but anyway, if there was some event that happened, all those people would be gone and they wouldn't have to take care of them anymore. So that would be the reason why the government, I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. That would be the reason why the government would go that route to get rid of what they would consider useless eaters. You have people using the resources that are not putting anything back into the system. I honestly believe that, what would happen is, I think that if the government pulled a switch, let's just say, and did a power outage and blamed it on terrorists or whatever, okay, it can be blamed on a lot of different things, and they left those lights out for a few months, things will work themselves out. There'll be a lot of dead weight gone after that couple of month period of time, okay? And I think what they would do is they would have pockets of places where they would say, sanctuary, come here and we'll help you. And I think you're going to see that type of situation happen because there are definitely areas that are hardened already, even though, most of the U.S. is not hardened. But there are definitely areas that are hardened for an EMP attack or something like that. So, it would not put it past them, to be honest with you. So, that's why they would do it. It's like, people have said, well, they are tax money and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but if you got rid of 150 million people in the United States that were dead weight, let's say, okay, now you have the rest of the people that are now locked into servitude because if they want to eat and if they want to get benefits and this type of stuff, they have to work, and they're going to work for who? The people that are in charge. So don't fool yourself to think that could never be a possibility. Absolutely, it could be, and kind of scary, to be honest with you. So the more independent that you can be, the less reliant on a government that you can be, the better. Bob, Tom, if you're having buffering, just sign out and sign back in. That would probably be the best way. So I'm hoping that the head nurse at intensive care told me my sister with Down syndrome had lived to her 40s and needed to let her go. She's still here 14 years later. Wow. Yeah, I mean, because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. So as long as she's having a happy, productive life, Down syndrome's kids can really live a long, long time. And is it good to save old medications? Yes, absolutely. Save your older medications. They're going to lose their potency over time. There's only certain things. If you can look all that information up, and I actually have done a video on that, but you can look all that information up. There's certain things that you don't want to use or save after an expiration date, but most medicine is still going to be okay after an expiration date. But you can, Robert just said, except for aspirin. Yeah, but there's, like I said, you just make sure you go through and you check, better to have old meds than no meds. Absolutely. You are exactly right. There's a lot of things out there, guys, that are going to be really, really good for a long time after an S.H.T.F event. And, having pain medications, if you have extra pain medications from surgeries or whatever, really, really good to have because it's going to come in handy. And that medication still can also be used as a barter. So that's important to remember, too. So I want to give a quick shout out too while I'm thinking about it, because somebody just said Fugel family, what's up? Marfugel just hit 100,000 subscribers yesterday. I was actually on his show last night, and I just want to say congratulations to him for hitting 100,000. There's a couple channels, guys, that I've told you before that I recommend. Marfugel's one of them. John X Army, Jacob Israel, The Watchman News. That's Mike, my IT guy. He has a news channel. And everybody kind of has a different spin of what they do on their channels. And so, there's some great channels out there, a lot of good information. So, definitely, if you are not signed up to Marfugel, please go over and do that, okay? So, okay, cool. A lot of you guys heard me. Okay, very cool. Very, very cool. How you from? Okay, so we got to do it tonight. We always do it every night, guys. Shout out to me from where you're at. I want to see where everybody's from tonight. So what part of the country or around the world where you guys are at? Hey, Aaron, thank you very much. Berkey water filter or Life Straw? Both. I would definitely say both. Yeah, definitely have both. And thank you for that donation. So we're getting, let's see. All right, we got New Zealand again today. Perfect. Let's see, Philly, Ohio, California, Gates, New York, cool. North Carolina, let's see, a lot of, and this is what I love, guys. I just saw the UK go by. Missouri, Ohio, Canada, Utah, Maine, Tennessee, Massachusetts. That's what I love about this, and I talk about this a lot. We're a big, huge family, guys, and we're all getting together and we're trying to work together. We all have a similar thought process. We've been awake. We know what's going on. And I think it's awesome. I think it's from all around the country, all around the world. So, we got Candor, New York there, Rochester, yep, Arizona, Michigan. So, yeah, it's flying by. They're flying by. Yep, so Oklahoma. There's an Aussie, cool, very cool, from Australia, nice. Yeah, so guys, it's awesome. You know what I mean? It's awesome that we can all be together and that we can all work together. I think that that's a great thing. Hawaii, very cool. The more people that we can wake up, the more people that we can help. I prep to try to help other people as well. That's my own decision. If it comes back and bites me in the butt, then that's going to happen. But I want to try to be, a beacon of hope for people. A lot of people are going through life even right now with everything fine, if you want to call it fine, and they have no hope. And that's sad. It's really, really sad. So, if we can help other people, that's going to be really, really important to do. And I think that that's important. We got Idaho. Yeah, I seen that. We need to get the people in New York. We need to have a get together at Letchworth State Park this year. I definitely want to do that, or even down from Pennsylvania. If you guys want to come up, I think we should definitely do a get together. Just a bunch of people get together at the park, do a cookout, just kind of talk with each other. I think that that would be a really, really cool thing. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know if you would like to do that. I think that that would be a lot of fun, a great way to get together with like-minded people. And you never know what kind of groups can end up forming out of something like that. And that's important too. And even if you don't form a group out of a meetup like that, guys, if you make connections with people and are willing to work with other people, I think that that's important too. I need to find connections on Maui. Yeah, that would. Yeah, that you definitely do. It's. I'm sure it's a lot harder being on the island like that. So it's definitely much harder. Thoughts on religions that are against storage of food? I have a family that's hard to turn into preppers. Their Bible tells them it's bad. I have never seen in a Bible where it said don't stock up. I mean, there's so many examples in the Bible, from Jacob with, with the Pharaoh. I mean, there's that story. They saved up stuff for the 7 years of good because the 7 years of famine were coming. I don't think that, it is. You look at the Mormons. The Mormons believe in having a year's worth of food available. That's part of their tenet of what they do. And I think that that's very, very intelligent to do. It's better to have it and not need it, guys, than to need it and not have it. So I think I mean, why would you not want to take care of your family? I really, you know, I really think that I don't grasp why people won't want to take care of themselves or their families. Yep, 7 years of famine, exactly. Yeah, and he was a huge. Yeah, Joseph was a huge prepper. Noah, there's another prepper, guys. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's plenty of examples. Uh, Jehovah Witnesses rely solely on their Lord and say that hoarding food is unnecessary. I don't agree with that because my mother's a Jehovah Witness. So she's been raised by her and my grandparents, and she always had food back. So I don't know where you're getting that information from. Maybe somebody was saying that to you, but so I mean, I know Jehovah's Witnesses, so I know Jehovah Witnesses that are preppers. So yeah. A Discord chat I think about, very cool for sharing ideas. Yeah, we could definitely, that would be cool. We could definitely do something like that. I should do a live stream from the chicken coop when it's completed. Yeah, that would be fun, right? I have to run the extension cord out there. But Sawyer filters are good. Yes, somebody just said Sawyer filters are good. Having different ways to purify water, guys. If you can get a Berkey, if you can get a Catadine water filter, it's a lightweight thing you can put in your pack. It's less than a pound. That would be a really important thing to have in a bug out bag. Sawyer straws, also good to have. They can't filter as much water as a Catadine will. But, if you have a home, I definitely recommend having a Berkey. They're an awesome water filter. Absolutely awesome water filter. So I love mine. I have a 5-gallon one here at the house that we use, and we do it all the time. What is my take on burying your preps? I absolutely, Alpha Jack just asked that. You need, and I've talked about this, guys, you need to have caches. You need to have food caches, clothes, weapons, other supplies that you're going to need. You definitely, and like say, here's your home, okay? You're going to go east, west, north, and south, okay? You're going to go all 4 directions, put caches in each direction, because if you ever had to bug out in any kind of emergency situation, there's no guarantee that where, like, say you have your caches buried to the north of you, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to go north, okay? So it's absolutely important to have caches strategically placed there. If you are driving long distances from work, within 5 miles of your work, if there's any way that you can do it, put a cache in there. On the highway, you can put a cache in on the highway, guys, as long as you know where that cache is. I mean, you got to be kind of stealthy doing that, obviously, but that can be done. Hedgerows are great places to put a cache because they're usually overgrown. So if you get a situation, you can get into that hedgerow. Usually they're not going to do construction in the hedgerow. Put a cache in that hedgerow. Those are some good ideas to do. If you have a sign, there's a sign, a mile marker, whatever, at some point. From that sign, have your cache someplace close by to that, where you can have supplies to get you home safely to survive. Clean clothes, rain gear, things to keep warm, shelter, some food. Yeah, graveyards are never built and are dug there. There you go. That's a very good one, Kevin. Yeah, yeah. In the city, there's all kinds of graveyards in cities, and there's mausoleums. Okay, so you pick a mausoleum, and in the back of the mausoleum, you dig the hole behind the mausoleum, put your preps down in there in your bucket or whatever you're going to have, and there you go. Very, very smart to do. I definitely highly, highly, highly recommend having caches. I think it's really, really important. Okay. Cache is pronounced cash. Well, however you want to pronounce it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are being controlled by the globalists. The United Nations is doing this to us. It's all about control. Everything is about control. They want to have total and complete control. The first thing that they need to do, be it the UN or the globalists, whoever's in charge, they need to disarm the United States. And that's their agenda. That's what they're trying to do. And, I think that, that's why we need to make sure that we are keeping our Second Amendment rights and not giving up on that. I don't have cable TV. I don't have cable. I don't have TV at all. I don't even own a television. When we moved here, and in June it'll be 4 years that we've been down here, and there's UN trucks here already. I know that. Yep, Aaron, I've seen that too. Yep, there's a lot of stuff that's here. A lot of foreign troops are also here. So our own troops would never fire on us, I don't believe. I think that most of them would turn against the government. So I think that they would have to use foreign troops to try to quell us. But if we had, the police department, a lot of the police department, a lot of those guys are preppers. So, if we have those guys in the military, that's going to be a lot better for us, and it's going to give us a lot better chance. But going back to what was it? I'm losing my train of thought here. What I was going to say, yep, Marine here. Yeah, you know what? Just because anybody that was ever in the service, you may be ex-military, but you're always going to be military. Hey, Mountain Girl, how you doing tonight? Thank you very much, hon. I appreciate that. Thank you. If you're ex-military, you always have that military mindset. You have that training. You know how the military thinks. You know how things are done. The UN demanded the immigration. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, and thank you, Bob Tom, for that donation as well. You're right. They want to have that mass immigration. They want to have the system collapse because of so many people on the system, and that's what they're doing. We're being overrun, basically. There's a lot of people. Wait a minute, I saw something here. Hold on, I'm going to go back to that comment, and I want to read that. Canadian prepper thinks the military will turn against us. What do I think? No way. I think certain elements might, but I think that for the most part in America, you got to remember, where are most soldiers coming from? They're not coming from the elite, okay? Most soldiers are from small towns, cities, and stuff like that. I think for the most part, a lot of those people are going to take care of their own. They're going to want to take care of their own. They're going to, if I was in the military right now and they said, yeah, we're going to have you go to this town and you're going to kill these people in this town, my thought would be, well, who's in my town killing my family? There's no way. It wouldn't happen, guys. Canadian prepper is 100% wrong on that. I absolutely think that he's 100% wrong on that. I think that most of the people would not obey an unlawful order. I really do believe that. Hey, Todd Hickley, thank you. Will martial law come to the federal ID with the federal ID in 2020? First of all, thank you for that donation. The federal ID, the Real ID Act and stuff like that, I don't think martial law will come because of that. I think it's going to be a process of a number of things. They really, truly, if you watch how the media does things, they're stirring up everybody. They're getting everybody all worked up, both sides. Okay, so you're getting the left and the right all fired up and worked up against the other. And I've talked about this. What a lot of people don't realize in the government, the left and the right, they're two wings of the same bird, guys. They're two sides of the same coin. They all have the same agenda, which is against us. They're there to take care of their rich friends, and they do not care about the average American citizen. They do not. I don't care what you think. I don't think, if you think that voting is going to change that, it's not. They are against us. They're going to take care of their big rich friends that got them in office, that pull their strings. And that's the reality of it, So it doesn't matter if you have a Republican in the White House. It doesn't matter if you have a Democrat in the White House, okay? The agenda is to continue to squeeze us as much as they possibly can while singing us lip service and thinking that things are going to change. You look at the last 20 years. We had Bush, then we had, Clinton, Bush came after Clinton. So then after Bush, then we had Obama, and now we got, Trump. And it's a back and forth, and it's just a big game. And like I said, we're not in it. We're not in that game. We're nobody. They don't care about us. If you think that the government cares about you, I feel sorry for you, because they really, truly don't. Let's see. Yeah, corporate America. Big business runs this country, guys. Your pharmaceutical companies, your oil companies, your insurance companies, they are who are in charge, okay? Your power companies, they decide what everything is going to be. Where do you think a lot of these laws come from that, like in Florida, you're not allowed to be off-grid in Florida? How ridiculous is that? You know what I mean? You have to be grid-tied because they basically know that if you lived in Florida and if you put in your own independent system, now you're independent. You don't need them. You know what I mean? They don't want that. Heaven forbid that you actually are taking care of yourself and being, proactive. They can't have that. They don't want it. I see more and more restrictive laws coming down the road. They're totally against the tiny house movement. You look at that; it's going on around the country. Different places are saying you have to have a certain size home now. You can't have that small home. Well, why not? If you don't need a big home, because they can't tax you on that. They're not making a lot of money off of you. That's what they don't like, Umbrella corporation, it's only a matter of time. Exactly. You're right. Absolutely. And I laugh, guys, when I see, all the stuff now with the pro-Trump and people against Trump. I've never seen people so galvanized in my life, against a president ever. I mean, I thought that, there was a hatred for Obama from a lot of people. It doesn't even come close to the hatred for Trump. The bottom line is he's the guy in charge. He's the president. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. You know what I mean? So all these people with all these wasting money for investigations and this and that and the other thing, let's investigate all these millionaires in Congress. How do they become millionaires when they're making like $140,000 a year and trying to live in Washington, D.C., which is hugely expensive? Let's check into that. Why does Nancy Pelosi worth as much as she is on her salary? Okay. How much is Chuck Schumer worth? Okay. How much is, John Boehner, who when he was in office, all those guys, all of them, guys, not just Democrats, Republicans as well. Let's investigate them. Why are there so many millionaires in Congress and why in the House of Representatives? How come so many of them are millionaires? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? They're afraid to get the truth. You're right. Yeah. And, if he gets reelected, right. If he gets reelected in 2020, you will probably see a lot worse things happen. Somebody just put on here corporate lobbyists. Yeah. The amount of money that is spent by lobbyists, by these companies to get their things going, and the donations that they give to these different people, then they're owed. They're owed and they're owned. And that's exactly how it is, guys. Our government is going to fall in on itself. And I've said this over and over and over again, guys, and I really truly believe this. We are the modern day Rome. You look at what Rome did, and how did Rome fall? It crumbled from within. Too many wars, high taxes, complacency of its citizens, and the slaves rose up too. You know what I mean? So when you have a lot of those combinations of things going on, how do you think people would be if tomorrow they said no more food stamps? People would lose their mind. They would lose their mind. There would be rioting in the streets. Another way to enact martial law, isn't it? You know what I mean? So we need to really think about what's going on. We need to be prepared. We need to be ready. And like I said, the biggest thing, and I've talked about this before, have a game plan. Have a game plan. Be ready to put that into action when the time comes. And take care of your group, family, friends, whoever's in your group, whoever you agree to work with, be prepared and be ready to help them out, because it's coming. It is absolutely coming. And, it's a very, very sad situation. And will they follow orders? Look at gun confiscation during Katrina. Right, exactly. It's a great example. When Hurricane Katrina happened, and a lot of people don't know this, when the military went in, they went house to house and disarmed people. And it absolutely happened that way. And there was videos about that, and all that was been basically suppressed. It wasn't talked about in the media. But, there was a lot of people that were killed down there that didn't die from the hurricane. And don't let that, like I said, if you have weapons, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have them spread out. If you can have some at friend's house, trusted friend's house, stashed away in a cache someplace, do it that way as well. But definitely, most never got their guns back. I'm sure they didn't. Kevin. Absolutely. That's how the government rolls. I mean, once they take them, they have no intention of giving them back. And if you want to try to get them back, you got to jump through hoops to try to get them back. So it's definitely, a disarmed society is a very controllable society. And I've heard people say, well, the government has, the military has this, that, and the other thing, and they can do this and that. They can kill you anyway. Yeah, they can. But if you have people that are able to defend themselves, and if you have people that have hope, that's a scary, scary thing. And I think that when you have as many weapons that we have in the United States, there's no foreign power that wants to invade the United States, because they know that behind, like you said, in Emperor of Japan back in World War II, he said there would be a gun behind every blade of grass. We have a country here in the United States where we are very, very well armed. We will never be unarmed. And somebody just talked about registration. Yeah, registration leads to one thing, guys: confiscation. Down the road, they will come up with new laws, and then, because you registered this gun or that gun, now you need to turn them in. Do not register. It would be my advice. If you have things, do what you need to do. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not telling you to break the law. I'm just saying do what you need to do. And make your own conscientious decision for yourself and for your family. Because I'm going to tell you what, when it all goes down, when that ball drops, all the laws and all the rules and all that stuff are all off the table, guys. And then it's survival of the fittest. It's survival of the most prepared. It's survival of the luckiest. The people that are going to survive what's coming are going to be clever. They're going to be witty. They're going to have some skills. And they're going to be willing to do whatever is necessary to survive. So remember, I want you to really think about what I just said. The people that survive what is coming are going to be the people that are going to be willing to do whatever is necessary to survive. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me, well, I don't want to survive in a world like that. Well, then you'll probably end up dying, because you know what? The will to live is so strong that there's no way people are just going to willy-nilly go, okay, yep, I'll just do whatever you say. It's not going to happen, guys. Like the Hunger Games, it'll be worse than the Hunger Games. It wouldn't be like that. I have several guns not in existence. I tell people I don't have any guns. That's my answer right there. I don't have any guns. After S.H.T.F. happens, then we just see what happens after that. But like I said, the last place, guys, that you're going to want to do, or you're going to want to go after an S.H.T.F. situation, is a prepper's retreat. That is the last place you're going to want to go. If you think you're going to roll in there and be all Billy Bad behind and say, we're taking all your stuff and we're taking over, it ain't happening. First of all, to get to a prepper's retreat is going to be very, very difficult. You're going to have to go through a lot of other people before you even get to that point. And, people will do what is necessary to survive. And I think that, what is a gun? I like that. I have no idea. I've never heard of what they are. I don't know how they work either. Yeah, cash is going to be king for the first 72 hours. I agree with you 100%. Silver is going to be a really good thing to have, because if somebody says, well, cash is worthless, I'm only going to take silver. If you have the coins, silver coins, ounces of silver, that's going to definitely be worth, having some silver on hand is going to be important to have. In a post-event, trade barter is going to be a huge thing, guys. The biggest thing to survival is keeping your wits about you, have a game plan, and just be as prepared as you possibly can be. I laughed when somebody said, I just saw the comment today, and it said, well, why are so many preppers hoarders and have all kinds of stuff and look disorganized? Well, if you want to call it hoarding, it's not really hoarding, though. It's just being ready. I'm not just taking care of me. I'm not just taking care of my kids. I have my mom. I have my sister. I have my niece. I have people in my group that are coming. I have neighbors that I plan on working with. So there's going to be a lot of people. And so that takes a lot of food. And there'll be a lot of growing. There'll be a lot of gardening going on. There's going to be, in the beginning, there'll be hunting until the woods are hunted dry. I don't think that the woods are going to be a long-term solution for food, guys. They're not. You got everybody and their brother's going to be out there hunting and shooting at whatever's moving around. So a lot of people are going to get killed that way too. Or let's say if somebody's starving and you shot this deer and you're down there gutting that deer and taking care of that, if you don't have somebody watching your back, excuse me, somebody can come up behind you and they can shoot you and take your things. So, oh, good, Stace, you got your Red Ryder BB gun. That's good to have. Don't put your eye out. That's funny. Gardens are going to be key too, guys. Seeds, being able to know what you're doing. Yep. Know what you're doing is going to be really, really important. So, that's what I would definitely suggest. RV Filters should have it for my second. Oh, very cool. And thank you for the donation. What's a hot cowgirl? I like that name. That's funny. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, and having filters, man, it's really, really important. Having ways to purify water, guys, is going to be the number one thing. Fresh water is going to be key. Got to have fresh water. You can't do anything else unless you have that fresh water. And, within 3 days, if you don't have fresh water, you could be dead. I'm going to ask everybody again, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. That would be very, very helpful. I did want to mention, too, I mentioned it the other day, but I wanted to mention, I know what I got to mention again, too, here. Hold on a second. Mike had to do another drawing, so let me just get to that. Hold on a second. Where is he on here? I don't know where he went. Oh, there he is. Hold on. Okay. Mike had to do another drawing because the person that won the giveaway stickers did not end up contacting him. So we did another drawing. The new winner for the sticker giveaway is Carolyn R. So if Carolyn R., if you're watching, please contact Mike so that he can give you those stickers. That we just made new stickers for the website for preppernurse1.com. We have coffee mugs on the website as well. We just added 3 more choices of coffee mugs on the website. So there's a total of 5 different choices now on my website, preppernurse1.com. If you go there, I want to talk real quick too about the Prepper Nurse 1 community. We have that on there. It's totally free. You can join the Prepper Nurse 1 community. It's a good way to connect with other preppers, like-minded people from your state, from your country, and connect that way. It's very, very private. You cannot just come off the street and look and see what's going on. You have to be registered, but it's a great way to connect with like-minded people. Do you think Trump will invoke martial law and is retaliation for the bump stock after people are convinced of felony and turning them, especially if they're it's hard to say, guys. I think at some point martial law will definitely be enacted. Hey, James, thank you very much for Milk Bones. Yeah, the dogs always laugh. Thank you very much. I will definitely get them some more treats. Thank you. Uh, will martial law be enacted? Absolutely. At some point, I think that it will, and it will be used as an excuse to lock us down. Remember, guys, all they need is an excuse. So it's important to remember to, like I said, be prepared for that. Because if they enact martial law, what they're going to basically do, they're going to lock down cities. They're going to have choke points on highways, in and out. You're going to be monitored. And so those are things that you're going to want to think about. You act up after martial law is enacted, you will be put in detention centers. They have them all over the place. You want to call them FEMA camps, detention centers, whatever. They're not going to put up with any kind of nonsense at that point. So think about that. Prepare for that. It's crazy. I mean, it's scary to think about. It really, really is. But it's a possibility that's really likely to happen. Martial law, I believe, will be enacted at some point, and it'll be used as an excuse because of maybe a major event as far as the new subduction zone there in through the Midwest there, with the river and St. Louis, all through that area. The last one happened in the 1800s. If that happens again, it's been over 200 years. It will happen again at some point. If that happens, that would be a reason to enact martial law because of the chaos that would happen from that. There's a lot of reasons to enact martial law, and you just, like I said, you just hold on. I got a cat driving me nuts. He wants to go out. Hold on 1 second, guys. Buddy, I hear you. I hear you. Come on. There you go. Sorry about that, guys. An EMP will work better than martial law. Yeah, an EMP would be, Bob Tom, and thank you again for the donation. An EMP would definitely work better than martial law. But if an EMP happened, they will enact martial law after an EMP as well. They probably wouldn't be able to really be good with it. They could control cities, but they will never control the countries. There's just too many people spread out too thin. But basically they'll just wait on people. They'll wait people out. They'll starve people out. And that's why being able to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can, not after S.H.T.F happens, but before it happens, is going to be the catalyst, guys. The more efficient, self-sufficient you can be now, you're going to be better off. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have people that they're going to have that sick child or whatever. They're going to go, and they're going to go for that help. And then once they're there, you're not getting back out. Okay, so that's a great way to control people. So they don't have to really do nothing. They don't have to come out and hunt us down because they would have a huge loss of life if they did that. They'll just wait us out. They figure most people are not prepared. They don't know how to garden anymore. This isn't, 1850 where everybody had gardens and knew what they were doing. People have no idea anymore. They have no idea. And as far as the cat, if I didn't go let him out, he would not stop crying until I let him out. He's a great cat, but he drives me nuts. I'm actually his professional doorman. That's my job. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, if there was if somebody just said a more reasonable reason for martial law would be a coup. That could absolutely happen too. That would be something that would definitely, there's a lot of reasons that they can enact martial law, guys. There really, really is. And once they do that, the Constitution is suspended. You're not going to be able to use the Constitution anymore because it's going to be null and void until they let martial law go. They're not going to do that. Once they lock us down, they're going to keep us locked down. And it's really, really scary to think about. But, if we just, like I said, don't panic. Not panicking is going to be the key. Just keep working at things and you're going to be fine. That's realistically, that's the smartest way to be. Have a plan. When something happens, which eventually something will happen, and I can't say that it's going to be this or it's going to be that. It could be any number of things, okay? Put your plan in action and do what you need to do. Protect your families, protect your friends, protect your group, and as somebody said, and stick together. Exactly. Stick together and work together. Try to have a cohesive unit if you can. And it's going to be tough. And there's going to be a lot of hard decisions after an SHTF event. There's going to be a lot of hard decisions that are going to have to be made. And you're going to have to get your mind set and your mind right. Be ready to do what you have to do. Because guess what? Those people that we talked about earlier in the chat today, those desperate people, those scared people, they're going to just do whatever they need to do. What would happen if you locked down a hospital? Great question. And thank you for the donation as well. Hospitals get locked down. They could absolutely happen. They could tell the staff they couldn't leave. They could put guards around everything. And, you would definitely have issues with that. There would definitely be major issues with that. And so that is a possibility as well. In a martial law situation, I think that they absolutely would lock down hospitals. They would lock down everything, guys. It would be total control, absolutely total control. And if you try to kind of go against that at all, you're either going to get shot, and they're going to have a curfew, and you better not be out after that curfew, or you'll be shot or arrested. And so, those are things that you really need to think about. Some scary times are coming. Very, very scary times are coming. And there's people, like I said, scared and desperate people are willing to do whatever they have to do to get what they need. And if they know that you have something and, they feel entitled that they deserve it or they should have it, they're going to be willing to do whatever they have to do. So you need to be willing and ready to defend what you have at all costs. Protect your children. The children, guys, are the future. They really, really, truly are. Everything that I've ever done has always been about my kids. And that's the number one thing. Now, I have a daughter getting ready to go to college in the fall. And thank God it's about 45 minutes away, so it's fairly close. And her and I are going over a lot of scenarios, and we're going to be talking a lot of things. She's going to have access to a bicycle. So if there was an EMP, she could hop on that bicycle and get her butt home. And she's going to know what she has to do. And, so it's important, family is everything. It's what we do. It's why we do what we do. And, watch out for everybody. If everybody that you can help, anybody that you can wake up, do it if you can. Okay. Well, guys, here we are. We're at the end of this now already. It's already been an hour. Crazy how fast the time goes. Again, I'll ask one more time if you could give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. Looks good. YouTube likes that, so I appreciate that too. And remember, guys, we are all in this together. It's important to remember that. Have a plan. Be ready. Think. Run the scenarios in your head, okay? It's really, really important. I don't just say it. It's really, really important. Remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So to tell the people that you care about how you feel, it's really, really important, okay? And remember, guys, STD, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Work methodically towards your goals, and you will get there. It can be very overwhelming, but if you work at things methodically, you get one thing done, get it out of the way, and then you move on to the next thing. Just do that, and you're going to be fine. And just do the best you can. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from negative people. All they want to do is bring you down. They're very unhappy, and so yeah, I actually will be on Easter, so I'll be on here Sunday, guys. So look for me on the live chat for Sunday. If I don't talk to you guys before then, obviously, I hope everybody has a great Easter. Spend it with your families and the people that you care about. That's what it's really all about. And family is not always blood, guys. Remember that. I have friends of mine that are thicker than blood, and they're my brothers. And I would count on them, and they know they can count on me. So I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.